Looks like we got ourselves a good old-fashioned murder mystery on today's episode of Exhausted Reviews, where we're going to be talking about episode 2 and 3 of Dark Gathering. And ladies and gentlemen, this show right here, this is probably one of the best written shows of the season. And let me tell you why. Because first off, we have this beautiful setup of this vampire hunting in the woods. And I love how he shoots fires a couple shots, and you're just like, bro, he literally is like, all right, I keep messing. He literally just jumps and attacks the deer, and that already puts you in a place to where you know that like this episode is gonna be a little bit more than what you bargained for. So we've got people here. So the whole situation is that they're vampires, but they're nice vampires. They don't really eat people. So, but then, to their surprise, when they get home, what's this? A stake that was used to attack them. I'm really sorry about the images. Guys, I have bad news. Zoro.to was closed down. And, you know, everything's been bad since then. So, in honor of that, and me just being very hot right now, we're going to speed through this episode. But basically, here's the premise, right? This man gets home and sees that there's a stake with vampire blood on it. And then when he gets downstairs, the vampire, who does he see but his own wife? And she has been, I hate to say it, but she got stabified. So yeah, that is the premise of this first arc, is trying to find the murderer behind this woman. This woman and this vampire woman. So our good friends, it turns out some time has passed because our good friends here have apparently made a bit of a name for themselves in their travels, our main characters. The Cages, they call them. This little girl, detective girl, works for a news agency. She knows about our friends here, our main characters. And I forget his name. But he's really cool. Him and the head have a lot of really great banter. She'll say like, he'll be like, my master beat the French into me. And she'll be like, how could I possibly do that? I have no hands. And then they'll just yuck it up. So at least she still has a good sense of humor. And it is funny that he tries to fleece this guy right here into giving them less, into making him, it's like, it'll be $3, please. It's like, it's kind of bumpy. Make it 2. But yeah, they go in here. She does her investigating. She starts asking people questions. He actually has the pictures of them in the newspaper. I love how he just holds them. I love their introductions to the show. When they first meet, he is talking with her. When they first meet, he's talking with her, and she introduces herself inside the birdcage, but they still think it's the maid. And so she explains to them. I love how they do this every time. She's like, I love making people, I love watching people's reactions to finding out I'm just ahead. So, and when I first watched this episode, I didn't even realize it had ended, because we got to the part where she's investigating the body and she's listing off 7 initial deductions. And she really is on her Sherlock Holmes shit. So I don't know if she has any magical powers that are helping her deduce things, but she's able to count 7 different questions. Like, how did they get in here? Why did they leave the bottle behind? How did she not notice the attacker? How did they know the stake was in the storage room? Why did they return it to the storage room? Stuff like that. And the episode literally ends with him making a freaking scary face at the little girl. Oh, I think it's the scene right here. This little girl spying on them. He fucking flips around, and I really just gotta say, I haven't shown a lot of it in this series, just because I'm kind of breezing through this with my technology. But the presentation of this show is very phenomenal, super good indeed. So we're gonna move on to the next episode, and the next episode is actually where things start to get really interesting. So we have a beautiful dinner scene here, and where they're all drinking blood, and the boy is like, so she demonstrates her deduction ability by talking to the driver, and she's like, I noticed you have a bunch of rough spots on the bottom of your clothes because that's where you should spill food on when you're drinking, and your buttons have been changed and your collar is clean, so that means someone's taking care of your shirt, and if someone's taking care of your shirt and it's clean, and usually it's dirty right now, that means they probably asked you to stop drinking because you're such a fucking slob. And she perfectly nails him down, proving her deduction. And like this stuff right here is like part of what I mean when I'm talking about the presentation of the show. As he's telling his story, they're like the overlaying bits of it like into the scene. It's really cool. I love the show always stays visually interesting. So she's like, I need to know where everybody was on the night of the murder or else. So they all start giving their alibis. And it really doesn't seem like anyone here is the culprit. We still have no idea how any of this could happen. So they're doing a really good job writing up this mystery. They're doing a really good job with some of the dialogue too. Like here they're talking about it's strange that you can sort of plop animal blood into a dish like that and have it look it's like some kind of fancy expensive cuisine. She says, well, the Japanese say that blood is thicker than saltwater fish. And he's like, koi? I can't remember. We recommend eating koi. They're very fishy. And she's like, bro, please jump into a pond and feed yourself to the koi. They're just very fun. They banter very often. Bro, I love this line where she's like, how goes the investigation? And she says, the investigation has revealed mutually inconsistent stories, very contradictory factors. As a result, my scrutiny continues. So she's like, bro, like you didn't even answer my question. So I just love that. I love the writing. I love this maid. She's very cool and stern. And them going hunting and being attacked by the scenes here. Look at this. Like, they really just play around with the camera angles. They don't keep it too static or whatever. Like they're adding a lot of cool touches and elements into the scene. Like this scene of them talking that is slowly being enveloped in darkness is just like very, very cool. I do like it. I'm a big fan. So instead of attacking this guy, they do the smart thing. This guy they get attacked by a hunter, and vampires, obviously being vampires, like, all right, I'm about to kill him. And our detective comes in, gets some corroborating evidence that he's not the guy, and a little bit of extra information too. Perhaps just enough to solve the case too. So we learn a couple of puzzle pieces are coming together, and yeah, it's just. She's like, let's put an end to this tragic farce of a murder case. And I love his theatrics too. He's having fun. You can tell he's having a lot of fun just being here and hanging out with her. And that's the end of the episode. I'm really liking the show. I'm really digging the show. The world that they're building is great. And some of the visual presentation techniques are just... I love them. They're really great and they're really fun. And they really show a lot of creativity and passion going into this series. Shout out to the director. I'm pretty sure he did Kaguya-sama and Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinju. So this guy is not missing. This guy is a masterpiece. Shout out to him. If you guys are enjoying this show, please let me know in the comments down below, alright? Because I, for one, think this show is just incredible. And one other thing I also have to talk about in this show, right, is the animation is pretty good too. It's very consistent. When they have to add a little budget in for the fights, they add a little budget in. And like I said again too, like I'm trying to find some of the design flares that they use where like there'll be split screen talking. It's a little difficult to find sometimes. Oh yeah, here we go. So while he's talking, this little bar folds in, and then this will come. Like, it's all really, really cool stuff. Like, this is what I'm saying when I say the show is like visually interesting, because they'll mess around with the format of what you expect from an anime. And I think shows that do that really fully utilize the visual motion medium deserves recognitions for being able to switch things up outside of just standard back-to-back conversations, like reverse shot type stuff. They get into some really cool stuff here, and I'm really loving the ingenuity and just the innovation that I'm seeing with this, and I hope a lot more shows adapt sort of a more bombastic looking art style. So if you guys are enjoying these reviews of this series, let me know, leave a comment, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.